If you haven't subscribed already, ring that bell to get notified when new movies are posted. Hey, Chris Young here from HomeKit Geek, and today we're going to look at setting up Amazon Voice Easter eggs. As always, products that we're looking at in here, there will be an Amazon affiliates link in the video details below. So if you are interested in getting any of these, that would help support me. So let's get right into it. So essentially, contact sensors aren't just for security anymore. So the demo I'm going to show you guys is with the Echo Plus. I've got a first gen Echo Plus, but this would also work with the Echo Show Gen 2 or the Echo Plus Gen 2, which have the integrated Zigbee hubs. And I'm going to be using the Sylvania contact sensors, which are ridiculously cheap on Amazon right now. I managed to pick up 6 of these for $35. Yes, you heard that correctly. So essentially what we're going to do here is I'm going to use these to trigger Amazon's Madam A, their voice assistant, to be able to say something specific when an action happens. So this is brand new functionality that Amazon released, at least released in Canada, just a few weeks ago. And I've been having quite a bit of fun putting these around my house in non-traditional areas, shall we say. So let's take a look first at setting them up, and then I'll show you a few demos. So here we are on the iOS version of the Amazon Echo app. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to go into the top left, hit that, and look at routines, and we're going to add a new routine here. So our options are when this happens. A couple months ago, we had voice, we had schedule. That's it. Now we've got this when something happens trigger, when a device trigger happens, right? And currently, of all the devices I've got, it's only the Abode and the Ring devices that are exposed, as well as any of your contact sensors and motion sensors that are exposed directly to your Amazon Echo Pluses or the Echo Show Gen 2, right? So I can pick any of these and then select it to say, hey, when this happens, then do this, which is kind of cool. So for this one, I could have done a first motion sensor, which this is a Sylvania Zigbee-based motion sensor. I could do this based on temperature if I want to, or I could do this based on, does the motion sensor detect or not detect motion, right? So when I can select that, I can, of course, hit the save button. And so now it's when the device is detecting motion. These are my options. I can modify the device settings. I can control devices, obviously turn lights on or off, those kinds of things. So I can select individual ones. I can select groups. All of that is good. I could have it play the weather or traffic or news or play some music, messaging. I can adjust the device settings. So for instance, I could turn the volume up or down, right? I can stop any of the music that's playing on it if I need to. Or I can make Madam A, which is the voice assistant, say something, right? So you've got some default phrases here. So you can say, I'm home, blah, 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 all those kinds of things. Or you can do a custom phrase, which you have up to 250 characters to play around with, right? So I can just say, hey there, or whatever I want. This is my custom message, right? And once this is triggered, Madam A will say this, right? So she will say, hey there, this is my custom message, or whatever accent she happens to have on your particular phone, or Echo. You can also set constraints in here. So we don't have a ton of conditionals yet, but what we do have is the ability to do two things. We can say when it's active, between what and what range, right? So we can say this is only going to be active on Monday night, or Monday morning, and I'll say it's from 8 p.m. to maybe 8:05, right? So I can get pretty granular here. And I also have the ability to suppress it. So I can say, once it does happen, how long would you like to suppress the next occurrence of this happening? So for instance, if I set a contact sensor to open door and I set it to do something, well, you don't want it to just repeat itself all the time, right? So this will allow you to say, okay, do it on the first occurrence and then don't do it for the next half hour, something like that, right? The last thing we have, which if you've got multiple echoes around your place, this is pretty cool. You can say which echo would you like this to be played from. So if you have a sensor in a particular room, you can select the echo that is located in that particular room to play whatever your phrase happens to be, right? So that's all the setup piece. You can see it's pretty cool. So let's look at a few examples of how you might actually use this, right? So I have this one set up for my kids in the morning. So front door Sylvania contact sensor opens on weekdays from 7:30 to 8:10 a.m. Madam A will say something. And what will she say?
Have a great day at school. Don't forget your bag or lunchbox.
Or what about this one here? Maybe you have, you're trying to get a little bit healthier. You want to stop eating late at night, but you got the munchies. Maybe you want Madam A to help you out with that. So in this case, I've got a sensor put into the kitchen pantry. And as you can see, on every single day between 9 and 11:59 p.m., if this thing opens, Madam A will say,
Are you sure you want to eat now? It's pretty late.
or in this last example, between 7 p.m. to 1 a.m., on weekends only, look what happens when you open the closet door.
You must drink a lot of milk, because something's sure been doing your body good.
So I'm pretty sure not everybody is going to see this as useful, but I like the idea of being able to just kind of leave these voice Easter eggs all around the house to be able to manipulate when they're going to happen. You never really know when you open something whether or not you're going to get a message, whether or not what that message might be, right? So it's just these little things, these little reminders that you can put in the system, which I think is pretty cool. I'm also looking at putting these in things like back of dresser drawers or closet doors, things like that, so I can kind of give positive affirmations for my kids, which I always want them to have good messages, good things in their lives. So just as another idea that I haven't implemented yet, but I am going to be working on that. What do you guys think? Too much? Too little? Let me know in the video details in the links below. You know what to do with there. Subscribe if you haven't already. Likes, shares are always appreciated. And love to hear from you guys. Can't wait to see what you thought.